I'm I'm surprised. I assume we're gonna have like at least 15 people. I don't know why I'm thinking that.
Well, I love that thought. Hi, welcome. We are the volunteers. We are who are stepping up and in and working with the Global Grandmothers Council Network. And the engagement in the calls is low. We're having our daily Zooms and not having anyone join. So we're going to need to find new ways to engage the members. Um, I feel like the push for the website that has been needing to happen has kind of pushed members to disengage a little bit in the Facebook group. That's just my sense
Hmm.
of it. That finding new ways to engage them in the group before we can even move over to the site. So I'd just like us to Tamala, are you available with a camera? Just so everyone here knows Victoria's at work, so she's just listening. But we'd love to have you, Tamala. Hi. Hi, good to see you.
I
So
don't know who you're talking to.
yeah. Well, can you all
Oh, now I
see
see. Hi,
everybody?
Tamala. Hi, Tamala.
Okay.
Now I see.
I'm gonna put follow host order so we're all on the same thing.
Oh, and there's Sharon.
Yeah, Grandmother Sharon's here.
Yes.
So let's to start with, let's just take some deep breaths together. Just breathing real deeply through your nose. Fill your lungs all the way down to your belly. And hold that for a moment and then just let it out. Just let it all out. Exhale completely. Then breathe in again. Fill completely and hold it and pause and let it out long and slow. One more breath in. Hold it. Picture it just sparkling and shimmering and then blow it out into the world as it forms a cloud around us in this room and around those who will join us later. And just infuses us with possibilities of what may emerge as we are together in this space, in this time, and know that ideas and magic can happen when we open our hearts and communicate together with intention for the greater good of all. Thank you. Grandmother Sharon, would you like to take a moment for us?
I don't know what would be said here. We're definitely in the beginning phases, and yet look where we've come. Just in the last month and a half, I think, of opening it for volunteers and activities and websites. It's a lot that we are proposing and working with, and work getting done. And I think one of the things I want to add is that whenever women come together in the past, we have been a power to be targeted and destroyed. And sometimes we feel we have to duck and cover. And that's not where we're at in our day. This is not a duck and cover. We are women, and this is our space. We call it the Global Grandmother Space. And that's where we're putting our staff. This is our space. And it's here to allow that which is our wisdom, our compassion, our caring, our values to be expressed and experienced in ways maybe haven't been done for lifetimes. And that is our commitment and our stand. And in that, for me, I have that Sophia sword that goes into the heavens that says, I'm connected with teams who will keep this space protected, guided, filled with love. Don't tread on me, because my authority voice says, deep six, anything that comes up that needs to be transformed or healed, I will not back down, don't need to, because I walk with Sophia. I walk with my heart of grace, and I am anchored in Gaia. So that's what I would say today. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was beautifully said. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Mm.
So I do know that all of you have submitted volunteer applications, and thank you, because I have your names and what you want to do and how you want to come together. I just want to share my screen here for a moment, and let's see this one right here, and we're going to go. Once that disappears, I can go to my, there we go. Have you all seen the website
No.
for, okay, so, and you can see this, right?
Yes, you
Yes.
can see it. Looks great.
Okay, so
Wow.
the Global Grandmother, it's Grandmother's Garden is
Oh.
what we're calling the main source of it.
Mm.
And we have growth opportunities, early bird support together, you know, the security and safety of this website is beyond compare. This is a new technology, and all of our information will be so private and not even accessible by the Googles and the whatevers. We are private and protected.
Wow.
So our video from 9/9 about the grand plan is on here so people can watch it. And then we have the seeds, the flowers, and the fruits and nuts. Now, as we grow, we decided, you know, we didn't like the word member. Everybody knows what that means. And we didn't like the word level, although everybody knows what those words mean. We wanted to use good languaging that was growth oriented. So in a garden, this is what came up. And then on the Grand Council will be our roots and branches. So that the Grand Council will be those who, we have 12 seats on the Grand Council, and we can talk about that in a minute.
Okay,
But so
so just real quick, if you want to go scroll down just a little. So you're saying these are the memberships level?
yes, yes,
I love it. Seeds free, flowers, 13, fruits and nuts. Oh, I love it. Thank you.
sure. And so these are all of the benefits of
Mhm.
each one. So this is join.globalgrandmotherscouncil.org. And so the flowers are the first paid level. And we also intend that there will be a code to give a discount for volunteers. And there will be codes for the Grand Council because their membership, their fruit and nut membership will be free. So we have free seeds, we have flowers that pay and fruits and nuts that pay. But when you get to the Grand Council, you get benefits instead of paying. Your benefits are because of your service on these Grand Councils. And so there are lots and lots of benefits. You can go to the website and read all of these. It's exciting. And we just came up yesterday with the information that there would be a help wanted section. And the website host, you know, the company that we're using uses it for job postings, but we can call it help wanted and let grandmothers post what they need. I need help here. I need help there. And it's searchable by location. So you can get help in your local community when it's needed. And we can also have like a somebody in there listening to grandmother's needs. So that's exciting. So that's the website thing that we've got going. Now, I don't know if you can see this full thing. Let's see if I can move.
Diana, Victoria's wondering who's hosting the site. Do you want to just say the platform?
Oh,
how-
the platform for the site is High Ground for the website with Scale Growth.
Yeah,
Isn't that what it is? Scale Growth for the social media part and the marketplace. So the website host works with this social media platform that's brand new. It's a new technology. It's going to have social media feeds like Facebook does and groups like Facebook has. So you can have a group. These flower members can have one group. Fruits and nuts can have 3 or 4 different groups. So subject based. So if you have 3 different classes that you teach, you can have a group for each class. If you have 3 different subject matters that you're wanting to integrate together, you can have those different group chats. And the group chats will be searchable by area of interest or by individual. When someone comes and registers to be even the free flower, they'll get to choose what their interests are. And we're working on those right now. This is one of the tasks that needs to be done right now is we've begun. We have 3 or 4 of us working on it, but we'd be glad to have more people on the team to determine what are the categories, how do we put the categories in languaging that people understand and that are not patriarchal or colonial or colonization type language, because it's the feminine language that we have to shift into. And so we're talking about those things, and how can we talk about conscious awareness of Gaia in our interactions more than just environmentalism. It's and guidance, how guidance is different than teaching, or so these are just some of the categories that we've come up with this thus far that we are looking for volunteers to work within. So
And-
communications, that's our social media, making posts that are regular, and we've been, our moderators and our admins have been working on this, but we need a team dedicated to the Facebook platform and to create newsletter for our email campaigns.
Diana,
Is that all
Yes.
one person? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Diana, do you know those the 12 circles or the teams or the councils? Do you
Yes.
have is that something you have that you could put up on the screen so
Yes.
these are the councils, because you're talking a lot you're talking about is that transitional. Right now we're working a lot on the website, and there's a lot of needs within the website transitional team, but then there's other teams. It might be good to have an overview of those 12 councils. Do you have that?
Can you see this?
Yeah,
I can't.
that's
Oh, you
great.
can?
Oh,
I've got it on the shared screen. Lenny, can you see it?
Yes,
I-
ma'am.
I can see it.
So you can't see it, Sharon?
I can't, but that's okay. If they can see it, that's good. I'm not sure why I can't, but
Oh, okay. There's one thing that may change, the curation at the very top. We've had some really deep conversations about what it means to curate and what kind of a gatekeeper that might be. And that might not be the right word, and that might not be the right task for that council. That was, our thoughts on curation was that, the review team for curriculum and for the academy. But if we're saying that all of us have wisdom, then our wisdom, who's going to decide what wisdom comes through the doors? How do we make those choices at this stage?
Wow.
Does anybody have any thought about that?
I'm just impressed. I love that the whole creation is very conscious driven. It's like walking the talk, right? In everything you're doing, I just, it's really great.
Thank you. So each of these, so we have the core values team, council stands in the center and embraces it all. That's the gold sphere. That's the core council. That makes sure our values are held through everything that is done. And then each of these, the outreach, technology, media, local grandmother council support, member care, administration, global grandmother council support, global action, events, guidance, training. Those are all seats. And each one of those seats would have their own council of people to work with them, but they
Yeah.
represent on the grand council. So this is like spheres upon spheres upon spheres of
Right.
influence,
Wow.
that we have all these circles, that this is how it's going to grow.
Wow.
So it's this circle based and how they overlap and how they have to work together. You know, it's a living process. And this baby that has birthed, that is still in, you know, with mama, real close to mama, but is birthed, is going to take a lot of circles of support. And
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. We're not used to doing that in our communities.
Mhm.
We have to, our call to members is to not just say, yeah, I'm in, but really step up and say, this is who I am. This is what I bring. And this is where I want to work. This is where I want to be in the circle.
May I,
Yes, Sharon?
may I say something?
Yeah.
Yes.
In my response for my interest for volunteering, one of the points I was trying to make was how important it is there is an interfacing between these groups,
Mhm.
even at that level. Because when you're working with, say, outreach, which is one of my areas of interest, you got to know what's coming up with events. You got to know what's coming up, you know, with member care, because they're instituting constantly, you know, ideas for programs and then building the resources. Well, that's what my group would be trying to do, is support those efforts of
Right.
resourcing things.
So you'll see here when I've broken down for each council seat,
Oh, okay.
like
Let's circle back.
training, members of our training council collaborate closely with peers in event, technology, admin, media, and member care,
I see that.
weaving together their individual strengths to uphold our collective wisdom and vision.
I
And
think that what that would mean is like all of those seats might meet monthly or twice a month to kind of know what everybody's going on, what's up to date, what's coming on, so that the head of those councils would be in that council of talking to each other about what's going on. And so then you would also be in charge of your own council and the type of meetings you would have to have cohesiveness to take the information to your group. And I think that's what you spoke of, Lenny. I think that's what you're talking about too, Mariana.
I had not seen this slide. Where is this?
it's in the featured.
Hmm?
It's in the featured on the top of the group, I believe. It's so hard. The featured items, you know, you have to actually go there and scroll through it,
Okay.
because it only really shows one or two things at a time. But if
Sure.
we scroll down a while, back before 9/9, there it is. I made a
Mhm.
little video of it.
So
it
these are,
displays
so
as
these
a
are,
video.
so this is, so what you're showing us is not a live website yet.
It's only to pre-register for the website.
Let me clarify.
10/10.
Can I
Okay.
clarify?
Yes.
Shown you the website, And that is ready to go to be seated, to have people come on board to launch on 10/10. There's, you can come on
Oh,
board.
10, okay, yeah.
Now what she's showing you, is the plans that were made like in August
Right,
together. So there's two separate things she's showing you.
got it, okay. Yeah,
Thank
because you're going to Facebook, so now I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah.
So,
You asked if it was posted anywhere. It's posted in the Facebook group under featured,
got it,
and
got it, I
and
see,
it's September 3rd.
Okay.
huh,
So, okay. So I'm gonna just come back over here now. And
so I have a question for you.
yes.
If you had a magic wand,
Mhm.
like how would, if you had that magic wand and you saw everything falling into place, how do you see it falling into place?
I see it starting this way with some of us saying, oh, yeah, I feel the call in my heart. So everyone who's responded and turned in a form, they said, I feel the call in my heart. They're going to keep feeling that calling. I trust that. And they're going to step up and step in when they can. People aren't used to hearing the kind of things we're bringing forth. So we have to really educate the members
Yeah,
of how this is happening in a new way, that it's not just same old, same old. Lot of questions about why do you even need a website? You know, you can do a website on Wix for free, you can do this, you can do that, but this is an interactive two-way website where you can market your goods and services and sell them across the globe.
I
You
remember
can,
when I came on, what drew me here is that draw that you're saying, and that's why I think you can say I've been kind of reaching out to you,
yeah,
right?
yes, yes,
And because I am being whatever's going on with me, I'm being really pushed here. So I'm here today because I know that I want to be here and I know there's a place for me. But I remember on the Facebook, and you're right. It's like, well, first of all, I'm trying to get away from Facebook, but then I'm like, I'm so glad I was on there because I wouldn't have found you. So, but that's how we're gonna find people. And how many thousands of people on Facebook?
55,500.
So, but I remember when I came on, I'm like, great, this feels great. I was liking the posts. But then I was like, I was ready for like, okay, is this it? What's going on? Remember? I was like,
Uh-huh.
wait, are we all gonna get together and talk and like, and so where I was coming from was really just collaborating and being with with my sisters, my grandmother's sisters, so I can really talk about the wisdom that's going on with me and how, and my passion with children and animals, how can I really, and just really collaborate with other women, you know? So then when I realized, so I came looking and it just seemed like I couldn't find the answer. Remember, it was frustrating for me. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, now you have this website. Now why? So I think you're right. I think you've got it's all there, but it's just making clear now. Okay, now we got this website. Before it was leading up to it, but
Uh-huh.
now we have the website.
Well, we
So,
have the entry into the website. We have
well,
a pre-launch for the website. You can sign up so that you're one of the first that can upload your content to the website to be one of the first members and always have your name on that legacy page. Those who sign up before 10/10 will be featured on our legacy page of members.
so so what I was just gonna, my big point was that I think that a lot of people have come and that's a question like, wait a minute, now what's going on? What is
Yeah.
being offered? And so finding that person who's almost like an expert on their, on marketing. Because you're tapping into that constant every single day. It's like, oh, here's the website, and here's where we're at. Click here, right? So I could see that that's really important.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is we have so many skills in our members. We have all the right skills. All of those people are there. It's how do we engage them? How do we
How do you
put
engage
out
the
the
members,
tone?
right?
How do we put out the
Yeah.
tone? Because it's a frequency. that they feel the call through the algorithms, through their scrolling through their screens, that this is what we have to do, is hold that tone and frequency so that more are drawn in. And so we started the daily Zooms so members could come together and just be in the same space together. You know, on the 9/9, the turning of the nines, the Zoom that I had a different thought of how that was going to go. But every single person needed to be heard. And this is the number one thing, is we all need to be heard. And our members are longing to have somebody really hear them.
So I think that for me, I'll just speak for me, because I'm not a marketer or anything like that, but I'm semi-retired from real estate. Thank goodness I started investing a long time ago, single mother. I got a crazy story, we all do. But for me, it's like, okay, what's the benefit? Okay, what am I gonna get from that? You know, and so it's almost like, I feel like what I would like to do, because it's overwhelming. It's almost like, you know, it's like we just need to volunteer just to get going, just to get started. You know,
Yeah.
so like if there's a position that you're like, say, I don't know if I would be a good I'm on Facebook, but I'm not sure if I'm the person, because I think you need someone marketing kind of knows what they're doing. Right? Or are you thinking
Not
kind of
really.
anyone can do it? Not really?
No, I think it's an organic process, that it doesn't
Yeah.
have to follow rules. This group grew organically because it's the right time and the right frequency.
No, I
That
meant Facebook. I
that
mean,
no, I understand your question. I understand what you're saying about needing a marketing specialist.
or
But I think
someone who's just like, um,
it,
like I'm not an expert in real estate, but boy, you have any questions, I probably can answer them. I feel really confident.
right.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
You know how
someone
to
who
put
did,
a message out because you've done the real estate. You know how to paint
yeah,
the picture. You know how
yeah.
to, oh, here's what it is. We need members making videos, making content, sharing their hearts, and sharing why they're volunteering. Yeah, Sharon?
I think for me, if I were to say what would be the next step, because we've got a team really focusing on the website as needs to be, because we can't do what our members want to have done through Facebook. It's just not a good way. So the website is really important. What I would like to see is a head of every one of those councils, whether they feel confident or not, so that we could say, okay, in next week, we'll have 12 council heads gathering together. They'll just newbies on the block, because they want grandmothers to have power and to talk to each other, and we want all of that good juju for ourselves and others. And so I'm willing to say, I will take over. I will be in charge of making sure that we can do local on the ground meetings, or I'm going to be global on the, and we have one person with every one of those council seats, so that we could come together and start building from the unity of the group. You've got a unity in the website. We do not have a unity within the group.
So that's first for you.
That would be first for me.
I would call those chairmen or chairwomen, in a traditional structure.
They would be that.
It
Yeah.
would be
Yes.
chairwomen for that piece. And they are gathering other voices in, hearing what they want to do, taking direction, but is a conveyance.
Yeah.
Someone who conveys that.
Again, so that there's a unity coming with the group itself. And because I think that's what's missing, is a unity of the group itself. I think the website is doing what it needs to do. And there's a lot going on there. But now what about having those, and it might be that the woman that steps up and says, I know marketing is important, and I'm gonna hold it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trust that people, I will hear and call to me those who know more than I even, but we need points of attraction for those various 12 places.
So
That
there's
was
12, so there's 12 positions.
Yes,
So then I will volunteer for one.
great.
I'm committed
Great.
100%. So because I think I like that. I
Yeah.
think getting the 12 committed.
And even
Uh-huh.
And then we got 12, then us 12 get together, then go out and out and out. There you go.
Yes, exactly.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And
There you
so
go.
What's your area of interest, Brenda?
Well, see, that's just it. I think I need to, I like this idea because I feel like that's what I'm like, I think I need to dive in and then get the 12 of us going. And then I think it's gonna be like, okay, that's where I need to go. I have a feeling that's how this is all gonna play out.
you know, the other possibility too, I'll just throw this in there because we as the beginning core didn't make this up. We didn't make this up. We got extremely good advice from One Divine who has searched and searched for her own site and come up with the combination. So we are taking tutorship from her because
Yes.
she's more than we know.
She's
We
awesome.
gather the women in some of their places and they have these same kind of chair seats. And so if you say, I'd love to see our marketing, well, I'll use that just because
Yeah.
I would love to see our marketing board be more effective. We could connect you with their marketing person so you could learn from her what has worked, what has not worked. We are
Exactly.
collaborating with others. And I
Yes.
think it's important to know we are not rebuilding a will. We are taking a will and expanding with it and sharing our expansion with other groups.
Yeah.
I just want to read Victoria's note here. This group isn't just about contributing. What do I personally have to offer? We also have members who want to learn, grow, share, and be heard as well. They are ultimately who will be drawn to everything the councils have to offer. So we will offer council members with the capability and desire to facilitate what is offered. She said that really well. I like that.
And that comes within the team that
Yes.
will can coalesce. But if we don't have somebody who is the head of those teams, of those councils, there's nothing to coalesce around.
And it's magnetic. It is magnetic, and it's the magnetics of the heart field that spark the creation and draw us in.
But
We
but also
feel-
your message, which I heard earlier, is really important. That when I say I'm volunteering, it's like I'm committed. I can't be volunteering today and going, oh, sorry, I'm busy next week.
right.
So I understand that. I mean, I'm just taking some really intense spiritual classes, and it's all about accountability. How you want to show up in the world, and especially when it comes to volunteering. It's like once you do that, you gotta step in, So, and I know, for me, I'll speak for me, I'm ready to move forward. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. So the steps that are really important right now on gathering the 12, and also for us to all be thinking about who do we know who may be on an advisory council that just advises us about different things that they're experts in, but they have wisdom and experience that is recognized.
Yeah.
So an advisory council, yeah, that was your
Yeah.
idea, wasn't it, Lenny?
Yes, and I'm seeing in the professional world that there are corporate boards internationally, really big foundations globally are seeing the need for their advisory boards to be strong players. They are not voting. There's limits to their power, but their advice is game changing. And so they look at the professional profiles and experience, but they're also looking at demeanor and the fit. So I think that's where you're going to get these people who feel like they want to, that they're being called to be advisors, but don't want to deal with everyday minutia that might be with a committee.
Right. So the advisors are who we turn to. Okay, we have a question about your area of expertise. We turn to you and we ask for your advice, and then we bring your advice to the council.
It's volunteer.
And
It's all volunteered, you know.
yeah, right. It is. And these are volunteer positions, and as the council members, as roots and branches in Grandmother's Garden, they will get the uh, fruit and nut membership will be reimbursed to them at the end of the year of service. And we need to have an overlap also, whether it's a full year or 6 months, as a member in one of those seats moves out and a new one moves in. We have to have an overlap so the work can continue and there's a training process for the next person.
And you also need professionals. You need legal advice. You're going to
Yes.
need accounting advice. You're really going to need some sophistication at a level that might be in these committees, you know,
That's the intention. Yes, that
but
there would be.
that, you know, the cream will rise to the top, so to speak, in terms of those skills and those experiences. And so I
And
think
we
it's
need
another
people who are
layer.
just task oriented. Hey, give me a task and I'll get it done. And, we need each council member to come up with tasks that need to happen for their work to be accomplished. And then there are members who will just say, hey, I've got a couple of hours here and there. I can do this task or I can do that task. And they may be more short-term volunteers, but we have to have that structure in place so they're able to do small tasks. And we can even assign people, share this post every day, or share something like this. You'll get a post and then just put it on the wall. Let's have a variety of people sharing posts. So, that kind of thing. So we have the top level and we have it all the way to the minute,
Yes.
micro, macro.
I keep bringing up medical because that is not one of my areas of expertise, but because there's so many emotional, uh, psychiatry, psychology, and spiritual, all is so much of what happens in women's lives. And we're the facilitators of getting our family members and ourselves to those resources. That I know that's a huge, huge piece. And yes, naturopathic and herbal and all that, and yoga and all that is related, but I would make sure you've got some expertise available to you on that, because it could easily get where informal advice, informal can cause somebody to flip out.
I'm having a hard time understanding what you're saying. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the advisory board, getting the
Right.
expertise that you need for
Getting-
this organization to be all that it's trying to be and wants to be, is that you make sure that we're accessing that.
You're
And it can be
accessing what? Information on being mentally
Up.
healthy?
No, not the information.
Oh,
The
No.
people who are advisors and have experience in that,
Yeah.
being available to the council.
being right, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there are lots of ways that as we come together as a group, we could benefit our group members. There are lots of potentials even for health and well-being as a group. One of the things that's going to be really crucial is once the website is up and running and we can launch the local councils, we can gather people together local on the ground and start getting action on the ground in the local communities. That's going to be a really strong piece because they're going to want to share what's happening locally
Yes.
in this area with what's happening locally in this area and work together. And a lot of the volunteers have said, I want to help form a local council. This is one of the biggest volunteer responses that we've gotten is, yeah, I want a local council. People want to be with people on the ground in person.
Mhm.
And we have the opportunity to form global councils around different subject matters, as well as the Grand Council. But we have to start here. Yes, Sharon.
An idea, if we make an effort to have someone in that's going to at least hold the space, be called the chairwoman, whatever, for each of those 12 circles. And then they, when we ask women to come together about a specific issue, the values, what are the values they want represented? They came together and it was, it was an amazing experience. So what if we had, once we have those, we don't even have to wait till they're all 12, but let's say somebody who is really interested, I'm going to use marketing again because it's in my head, somebody who's really interested in marketing, who either is interested in it, knows things about it, would love to, and so there a Zoom call would be called specifically around those specific chairs. Might be a next step to
Mhm.
them and come forward in those kind of areas of their interest, because we need to build the structure, we need to build that organization.
Mm.
So that might be an idea, is to get somebody who's in chair and then support a Zoom call, one or two, around those interested in that particular area.
So
Right.
one of the organizational priorities might be to seek out people who would be willing to chair.
Exactly.
I don't know if
Exactly.
that's the word you want to use, but that's Robert Rules of Order terminology.
Yeah, we're not using Robert's rules at all.
But that's
They're in the
okay.
trash can. They're in the fireplace, as far as I'm concerned.
But you can put a different term on it, and it effectively means leadership for that arena.
You know, really, in this new way, they're really a seed. They're holding the seed of the potential of that seed.
Sure.
So, these spheres, it's like the kombucha or a culture, sourdough. You're holding that with you in your living essence. You hold that, and then the others draw to it. And we don't know how many blooms each one is going to have. We don't know how this is going to grow and what it's going to look like as it blooms, but we know it's going to be beautiful. And won't
I
it be
think,
wonderful to see how it
yeah, I
blooms?
think you've been describing really well. I had kind of see the vision of it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Personally, because I watched your other video, and then to hear you again today. And you know what? And I'm a Virgo. Okay, I'm very like, so that's why I'm like, okay,
So
first,
are we.
yeah. So I know I need, so first, find something that I know I'm committed. And then, but I am like, I like the idea of the councils, that we focus and I get that group of people to get started. I don't know, that just seems right to me. And
Yeah.
then go from there.
So something I was thinking about yesterday and today, in the Facebook group, we turned off the chat feature because it was so abusive and so irritating.
Mm.
Then I'm thinking that maybe once we've closed the group now and we've had some time being closed, maybe it would be time to have a chat for each council seat. But the notifications can get overwhelming if people pop in and just say hi, or wave. Those get overwhelming. So finding out how to do this through Facebook.
I'm not in favor of the chat, but that's just me.
Okay.
Just two.
Okay.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not either.
Okay. I was just trying to find another way to re-engage the members. I don't
I
know.
think, well, I think for me, it seems like if we all agree that council is where to start, I think we need to agree to get started on something. Then that's where you start marketing towards that. That's, I don't know, well, that just helps me kind of go, okay, then I can focus on that and how do we want to, re-engage people? Because we've realized that we need to focus on getting the councils started. If that should be something we agree,
Uh-huh.
then we can
So,
focus on
so
that.
our first task as a team of volunteers would be to identify who might be on a council seat. And Victoria is saying, are you going to ask for resumes? And if there's more than one interested person, I think if there's more than one interested person in being on a council, that then they come together and choose who sits on the seat.
Mhm.
Totally, yeah,
Here's our representative for it.
yeah,
You know, but we could have specific meetings for each council seat and just see what emerges.
We haven't heard from Tamala. Where do your interests lie, sweetie?
It's Tamala.
Tamala.
Tam.
Thank
Ah.
you.
Now, what was your question? I'm sorry.
Where do your interests lie?
Oh, I have a lot of interests. So
Mhm.
it's really hard to narrow it down. I liked Victoria. She mentioned about going in and like looking at those different councils, meditating on it and seeing, I can see myself doing that, going in and seeing, because I saw the thing, but I didn't really grasp what all those councils were really about. So going into it, looking into seeing what are each of the councils, I could see me doing that and looking into seeing which one speaks to me personally and is something I feel like interests me. I agree that that's a good place to start, is starting with those councils and just getting somebody in there. I like calling it a seed, somewhere to start. I've been a gardener and the seeds are huge for me. I think they're the essence of life. And so if I can take a spot as a seed, I would be, what's the right word? I would be
grateful.
be happy to be used that way.
Oh, happy to use that way.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
maybe we can get that diagram shared.
yeah, can you put that up again if you don't mind? I'd love to see that again.
Sure. Let me
And,
find my share screen.
and how many is it again? How many seats?
12, I think.
12.
12. So we're looking for 12 people. And I'm just curious because I think that,
I'm going to go back. It looked better over here, I think.
thank you. Do you know, have you checked in with the other grandmothers to find out how many people have showed up so far to the calls?
Most of the daily Zooms have not had any participants.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm
people have
surprised.
not been attending, and everybody understands it'll take time. I
Yeah,
notice
yeah, totally.
on my Facebook feed, it'll be 3 days. A post will be posted 3 days ago before I ever see it.
Totally. Yeah, it's
So
all, that's the only
yeah,
thing with Facebook, because sometimes I'm not even on it for days, you're right. And then
yeah.
I get on it. So really probably, because I was on the call for Friday and there was 4 of us, I think.
Hmm.
4. And so if you kind of added, would there be like maybe about 10 people? If you had a guess, how many people do you think?
I
including,
think,
I think you back up a little bit before you put that out. I think sharing this diagram with a call for leadership from those who volunteered or who will still new ones that could volunteer, in which one of these are they interested, and are they interested in leadership or just being supportive and proactively volunteering in these areas? But this 12, the circle of 12, and I think I've seen that on your list. There's a bullet list somewhere. But
yes.
this graphic is very stimulating. It's a good one. Whoever put this together, kudos.
Thank you.
Now, everybody doesn't necessarily work. Just what all do they mean by guidance? Just what all do they mean by curation? Well, that's the opportunity for those committees, if you will, to define that.
Right. Yeah, and I have the general descriptions, and it's in the video as it plays on. You know, you can pause it and
Yes.
read those general descriptions, but everything is mutable. This is a foundational structure to start building upon. This is
I,
not an
just so
end.
you know, what I was trying to say, I just all I was trying to get to was if you got 10 people committed just in this past week, that might be a good place to get started, is to approach them directly. That's all I was gonna say.
Uh-huh.
Because then that showed they were interested, they actually showed up. Okay,
Right.
like me, this is my second time. Obviously, I'm interested. So
Yeah.
that's all. I was just gonna say that's a good place to get started, but you didn't, the numbers aren't there. So thank you. That's what I was trying to get to. So,
Well, I do
um,
have enough volunteer applications.
Mhm.
Here, I'll come over here and
oh,
show this. So, if I can move it.
because
There you go.
so let me just put this out there. I'm thinking you should start with people that have sent you these applications. And
Right.
ask straight up, you
I
know,
shouldn't be showing their email addresses on the video. Sorry. I
it's, all-
apologize for that.
it's all right. But if you got a
Security.
good, I think that's a good place to get started,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah. And so as I said earlier at the very beginning, getting past 9/9 was just
Yeah.
so stressful for me to bring everything out that needed to come out. And now I just feel like, "Huh, okay, now we can have the fun part of it." We
And
got
if you
through
need
that
help,
transition. We got through that birth. Now we
if you
get to
need help
play.
reaching out to them, I'll be happy to help you.
Thank
And
you.
Myanna, I think that I would second that there needs to be someone, not you, because you've got enough you're handling, someone who is the touch point for those 12.
Mhm.
Exclude you, but you're not the touch point for it.
Right.
My
So
suggestion.
I can put together an email list, and Brenda, I could put you on and Lenny, I could put both, and Tamla, anyone who wants to be on this gathering list of who will come together.
Mhm.
I can share this. I use Google Docs. I'm glad to share the information, and we can
Yeah,
talk
and
about
then we
who
could,
reaches out to who. It
and then
it
we
would be
could,
good to have like an invitation letter. So here's what we are, and here's what we
yeah,
envision.
yes.
Where do you see yourself? And I know Sharon had a bunch of things that she put about different ways of how do I explain that? Maybe you'd better say it yourself. Like there were category lists of
I
how do
don't,
you see yourself.
yeah, I don't,
What,
I'm almost, you know what? I'm almost thinking that we want to, please correct me, because I'm just learning all this right now, right? I see and I understand the sections, training, guidance, events. There's a lot in there. Okay.
mhm.
I just feel like almost if we can get the people that went out of the way to complete that application, just like I did, and approach like we were just talking right now, give them the idea of this is where we're going. And we decided this, but we kind of need to start here would you be willing to at least be part of the council? Are you willing to volunteer to be part of this council? You don't have to be committed. You know what I mean? Because when you ask me, well, Brenda, where do you see? I'm just like, I don't know. I think I personally would rather be like, hey, I'll be part of the council to get it started. So we can at least get 12 minds getting it going.
I think it's,
There's my suggestion.
I think it's important when you are having volunteers for sure, that there be an indication of what the time that might be involved. Like we have to meet once a week or every other month. I mean, what are we committing to time wise? And also, when's my retirement date? So you might want to put together, like you say, just a group to start pulling the councils together, and maybe their work of pulling the councils together might be finished within 2 weeks. They might be on the council, they might not be on the council, but they're helping to pull people together.
Exactly.
Together, then they can step wherever else they want.
Exactly. Yes. I feel like now that I kind of know how many people are coming in on the calls, I mean, I've been on a couple of calls already. At the meditation one, I don't know if any of you went on that. That was incredible. But every single one was, 50 people registered. But like for that meditation, I think there was 12 people on that. And then on Friday's call, she said 50 people registered, and I think there was 4 of us.
Right.
Right? So I'm like, and you know what? I've had Meetup, you've heard of Meetup, right? Meetup group. Oh my gosh, I've had groups, it's been over 5 years, but doing that, the attention span, the commitment, people, register 100 people you're expecting down to like 10. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So when you actually get people to complete an application, I'm here, that's who you need to focus on to get started.
Yes. Okay. And we are at 4 o'clock on the dot. So let us take another deep breath together. 3 more deep breaths together. Breathe in. And just hold in your heart all of the words that have been spoken and all of the visuals that we've seen, and then just let it flow through all the way out. Breathe into this council image. Hold this in your heart, all these spheres and like the first cells of an organism that are multiplying. And breathe it out. And this time, breathe deeply into the core of your heart, knowing that we are all one and we are all of the same star stuff and the same earthly soul and essence. We are indigenous to the earth and from the stars with our nativity. And we are one. And we are here now. And we are rising up and taking action together, bonding in our hearts, hand in hand, eye to eye, heart to heart, step by step, moving forward into the new way of living with loving kindness toward one another. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you all so much. We'll
Blessings.
make a little group email and next steps. We have another Zoom call. Anyone who watches this, there's another Zoom Friday. Let me look at my calendar here. You'll see my whole calendar here. Friday at noon. Friday at noon Eastern time. And when you go to the featured tab of the Facebook Global Grandmothers Group at the top. So go from the top down till you see the hands. Now is the time. We're in your hands. You can sign up for the Zoom call there. And the links are the same as for this call. All right. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.